Hello, everyone, and welcome to Beyond the Ball, Season 5, Episode 4.
Welcome, everyone. It's amazing to be on the ball.
I am Colly, and this week I'm joined by Paddy. Paddy, what is happening?
All right, I may seem a little bit smug this week, and that's because I bloody am. Love a bit of smugness.
We are going to get into that. We're going to get in depth of that one. We're going to be talking about, obviously, Chelsea's abysmal performance against Leeds. We're going to be looking back at United spanking Liverpool, which I'm actually kind of happy, Paddy. You've been very depressed on this show lately. It's nice to see you smiling. It really is nice to see you smiling.
Yeah, you sent those counsellors up to my house after the show last week. I was fucking suicide watch I was for a couple of days.
Yeah, it was a slippery slope because they seen you were on the drink one week, then it was eating and drinking the next week.
Yeah.
They weren't sure what was coming next, so he said, "Here,
back on the water this week."
Well hydrated. So we're going to be looking at them matches. We're going to look at the fancy football, Paddy. We're going to have a look at our teams, see how we done this week. We'll give an update on the league, see who's leading it. I've no idea. I actually didn't even check who was leading it. So we'll have a look at that. We've a little bit of news. We're gonna bring back the news of the week thing a little bit. Nothing too mad. We'll probably spend about 5-10 minutes on that. And then we'll have a look at next week's. But we do also have King of the Pod challenge number 4, Paddy. So we have, it was in the Spalwell. I mean, look, it's a shock. It's a shock where it was in the Spalwell. And it's close to the pin again. Yeah, they should. I mean, you really should be getting sponsorships out there. Yeah. So it's going to be close to the pin in the Spalwell on the top tracer again. And then we're going to look at next week's games, the 3 United, Chelsea, and Liverpool's games. So, Paddy, we're going to jump straight into the first thing this week, and we're going to be talking about the football. So I'm going to jump into the football review. Paddy, do you want me to be depressed first and you be extremely happy, or do you want to go the other way?
No, depressed first, I think. Yeah. Because that would kind of make me happy as well.
Right, okay, fair enough. So, Paddy, obviously we seen Leeds versus Chelsea. It was a hard watch. It was a hard watch, right? Chelsea could not deal with the high press that Leeds put on them. And I always thought, I hadn't really watched Leeds as much as I used to when Bielsa left. Because I said to myself, I kind of like Bielsa's style and I like that. It's exciting. But I never realized they still really kept that high press and they really do work hard. Leeds ran an extra 11 kilometers, I think it was, more than Chelsea in that game. And I think there was a very similar stat when Brentford beat United. I think they had covered 14k more. There's a common trend there with when smaller teams beat them bigger teams. They're just working harder and they're showing that they really want it more.
So is the owner out at Chelsea now?
No, he's a good guy. Todd Bowley's a good guy. But if that's not a message to the board to say that we're still kind of lacking in a couple of players, I don't know what is. We'll get into it a bit on the news of the week on what's going on, but I really think there could have been a different outcome in that game if Raheem Sterling in the first 10 minutes had to put that sitter away. Now, don't get me wrong, he done really well. He beat, I think it was 2 or 3 players on the wing, cut inside, and all he had to do was kind of curl it into the far corner. I've seen him do it loads of times at City, and I've also seen him miss loads of them at City. So us relying on him to be our sole finisher in the game is never going to work. So we need someone that he can play off as well. Very disappointed.
I'll ask you a couple of questions, I suppose. First of all, Tuchel coming along and he had to get the bus, God love him. And that was one of the reasons that they lost. It's because he had to get the bus, not even the players, just him. It's pathetic. What do you think of that?
Look, Tuchel's a good guy. Look, I think all managers come up with these stupid excuses. Klopp goes through it as well. I think every manager, every now and again, when they get a bad result, comes out.
To deflect off the players,
it's a complete bullshit excuse. It's like fucking Klopp saying the grass was too dry, and Pep saying fucking certain things. It's all fucking smokes and mirrors. It's horseshit to hide away from the fact that he just got absolutely outplayed. So I I don't read too much into Tuchel saying stupid things.
Is it looking at the United result against Brentford and Brighton, and now this result for Chelsea, looking Newcastle against City?
Yeah.
Is the gap just getting smaller now between the smaller teams and the bigger teams?
Yeah. I do definitely think when you look at the likes of Newcastle, for instance, obviously we know new owners have come in and massive investment has been kind of come along with it. They're definitely improving. So although I was a little bit surprised that they got a result, I was surprised they were able to score 3 goals against City. That was the most surprising thing. Like, I wouldn't have been as surprised if it was maybe 1-1 or 2-1. Like, a draw is probably not a surprise considering where they've kind of come. But scoring 3 goals against Manchester City is a massive thing. And it's definitely not a game that we would have thought Man City would have dropped points in, really. So you're kind of right, and then there is certain things that are just kind of freak results that people just want it a bit more. Like the Brentford one, I just think is a freak result. Like,
yeah, but
I don't think they're closing gaps.
But if you look, okay, so we've got Man City now with a freak result, United with a couple of not freak results really because they were shit last season as well. Chelsea with a freak result, Liverpool with these freak results. Is it just that all these larger teams are underperforming, or is it that the smaller teams are just getting better as well?
Yeah, I definitely think the smaller teams are getting better. There's a better quality of player these days.
Yeah,
and even when you look at like in Ireland and the kind of the underage leagues, there's definitely a better standard because you're watching these players, these flair players, which bring along a technique. So they're watching this technique, whereas back in the day, we would have watched fucking maybe Roy Keane and Patrick Vieira absolutely smash people and would have thought, Jesus Christ, we can go through someone for a tackle here. And now you're seeing the likes of David Silva, and well, obviously David Silva's probably gone now, but the likes of fucking Phil Foden and the likes who's doing a rollover, he's doing a step over, he's doing a little trick, and that's more what people are looking at now. So I think definitely a technique in terms of football. All their techniques, I think, seem to be better than it was maybe say 10 years ago when kind of fucking Patrick Vieira and all around.
Yeah, you see, like at the top clubs, they were athletes and they looked after themselves well, but then the lower league clubs as well, you're not looking at them having the same facilities as the big clubs had because they just didn't have the money input because the TV rights weren't as much at that time. But now they're all extremely rich clubs, and all of the players are athletes now. You can see it, like there's nobody being bullied off the ball. And then when United went through their pomp in the 90s and the noughties, they could go into any club in England and buy any of their players they wanted. Chelsea had it for a while as well there, because they had the money, they'd pay the wages. But clubs now are there's an awful lot more clubs with money now, and players don't have to go to these so-called bigger clubs because they're getting paid what they want and they're just superstars in these supposedly smaller clubs as well.
Yeah, so, definitely.
The dynamic has definitely shifted. There's a reason why it's the best league in the world. And it's because of results like the last couple of weeks. So look, I could sit here and wind you up and say, Chelsea's fucking shite and all this and that, but at the end of the day, like Leeds have had a decent enough start to the season. It is great to see Chelsea falling after you were so smug last week with the start you had, and you were robbed against Spurs, supposedly.
We were. Yeah, we were robbed.
You were, I have to say, and even the referee coming out afterwards apologising for missing the hair pull.
Yeah, it's a shocking. That's a shocking one. And Mike Dean came out, apologizes for it, and then says, "Look, if I had actually seen it again, I probably would have gave him a red card. We should have. I think he said we should have had the ref look at it. For me, that's a massive error. Like, there's no way that can happen. There's no excuse for it now. You have VAR to help you out on that. You can't be saying, oh, maybe I just missed this one, but there's no way now that you can't see that because they're in the VAR room or the VAR room, whatever it is, and they're looking at these replays. So it's not like they've just seen it in play and that's it. They've no footage to look back on. They're looking back at this saying, right, hold on, we can actually just let the ref have a look at this. Even if they don't think, like, maybe this isn't a red card, but maybe the way the ref is reffing the game, maybe he thinks it's a red card. So maybe we call the ref back, let him have a look at it, and let him dictate how he wants to ref this game.
Absolutely.
If he wants to let that type of tackle go, or if he wants to pull it up and say, look, that's not acceptable today. So I don't know. I think it's definitely something that they shouldn't be getting wrong at this stage.
So before we move off Chelsea, what do you think they need before the transfer window closes? And what do you think they need?
Number 9.
And what do you think they'll get?
A number 9 is exactly what they need. Look, Sterling, I don't think was brought in to be a number 9, but he's there pretty much playing as a number 9 alongside like Havertz and stuff like that. Havertz isn't a number 9 either. Need to remember that. He does score the odd goal, but it's nowhere near clinical enough for Chelsea. Sterling, again, like I said, he has been kind of sitting into a number 9 role, but he's definitely not a number 9 either. You can see the amount of chances. He misses fucking sitters. He does wonderful things. He goes by 3 or 4 players and then he skies it over the bar. And then he gets a 5-yard opportunity, skies it over the bar again. So he's definitely not one we can rely on. One that we were going to obviously talk about in a little while on the news was the transfer of Aubameyang coming from Barcelona. Now apparently Chelsea are in kind of deep talks with him at the moment, and I'd like to see him come because although he's 34, I think he's turning 34 next year, so he's actually only gone 33. But he's a better option, regardless of how old he is, regardless of all the shit he went through with Arsenal. Thomas Tuchel has had him before and he's managed him before. So there's no way that Tuchel is saying, right, let's get him in if he doesn't think he's going to sit into a system that will work for him. So I really think that if we get him in, you'll see the likes of Sterling and Aubameyang linking up a lot better than anybody else that Sterling will probably link up with.
And I think Aubameyang is the type of player that needs a manager like that he's comfortable with, that'll put the arm around him, that'll look after him, make him feel special, because I think he lost at Arsenal and that's when the head dropped and he was gone then.
Yeah. Just a quick one in there. We have a comment in, still Glazier's out. I don't know. I think United fans are gonna turn around and they're gonna walk out the door on that one. Just a quick one. I am just gonna show a message. So I did receive a lovely message, I suppose I have to say, from one of the previous guests on the podcast. I'm just gonna play here, Paddy, and then whatever.
Hi there, everybody, all the listeners. This is Andy McNulty here. I'm just dropping in to say to Colly.
I love it. Excellent.
You know, if someone goes through the effort of sending me something like that, I'm going to play it regardless. I know it's taking the piss out of me, but look, I'll allow that one. Andy was on the podcast before, and we had
if you give it, you can take it, huh?
I'll allow it, yeah. I'll give it. I'll give plenty of stick,
it.
so I'll take it. Oh, I can give it, all right. I can give stick as well. So, Paddy, we're going to move off Chelsea, I suppose, and move on to your beloved Manchester United.
Yes.
Before we get into that, and just obviously going on to that comment that we just seen there in from Peter Moran, he has another name. We'll bounce back, but still wants CR7 still wants to leave. Sure, he's I'm going to actually just jump onto even the 2 points that he's just made there. Yeah. Obviously, the Glazers out thing was a massive, can we say distraction? Maybe not a distraction before the game. Didn't look like a distraction on the pitch. But did it actually take the pressure off the players because they knew that was happening?
Yeah, it could have done. I think I think the manager would have been shielding them as much as possible. I've been listening to a lot of Manchester United podcasts over the last couple of days, and especially today now I listened to one that was from The Athletic, and they were part of the how would you say the parade, the march on Old Trafford, and there was 8,000 to 10,000 people there against the Glazers, which is a massive turnout. Peaceful, and there was one incident where a can being thrown on a bus, but that was an isolated incident. Other than that, it was a peaceful protest. Look, at the end of the day, will it make a difference? I don't think so, because I think the only way you'll make a difference really is to hit the Glazer in the pockets. But it's still good to keep the awareness there, because either you do need ownership or else they need to change dramatically.
Yeah.
In terms
but what
of
happens now? So like that's kind of, it's like we said last week, Paddy. There's ways of papering over cracks here, and Fergie done it for years. If Ten Hag gets a good run going, does he then become like, okay, right? He's papered over the cracks now. Now we're kind of he's papering over the cracks. We're getting results. We're climbing the table. But now you've actually still got an owner that's willing to, I'm not going to say invest, because United fans hate when I say invest, but they're going to spend money, because I can't say invest because they're using the club's money, which, look, in my opinion, if I'm a supporter, I don't care as long as the money is being spent on the players. So you now have a manager that can paper over cracks, like we're going to say, and you've got an owner that will spend money on players. He will release money to be
But
spent
it's
on
not just
players.
about the players.
Go on, enlighten me.
All right. Look, it's Gary Neville put it very eloquently about playing in Anfield years ago, and when Anfield new stand is finished, they'll have a more modern stadium than Manchester United, which is scandalous considering we had the best in class stadium in the United Kingdom for years until Ferguson left. We need a new stadium or a vast upgrade on what we have. The training ground was built and they moved into it, and I think it was 2002, 2001. And there's been very little investment in it since then. The farce of every transfer window with Manchester United, it's just laughable. And this again comes from the wrong people being put in place. I did have some faith that there was an awful lot of the management and the upper levels above manager level, the director of football was put in place for the new manager, but we just seem to be having the same problem that we do every year. Now, I will give a bit of grace because they are cleaning up the mess from the last regime. So I'd be happy enough to give them another couple of transfer windows and see what happens. But what the fans want is owners that care about the club. And you talk about them not investing their own money, and that's fine. They don't want to invest their own money. They want to invest the money, the capital that they make from the club. That's understandable. But they're taking massive amounts of money out, and there's more money needed to go into the club. And I think that's what really irks the fans.
So, like, I know we're saying they take out massive amounts of money from the club. Do you think they're just moving money around? Do you think, like, do you honestly think that, I think it was 24.5 million or something that was taken out last week? Like, do you think that would have just been sitting there and just kind of, like, I know we could say, oh, well, we could have used that to upgrade the stand, or we could have invested that in doing something else. But like, obviously them owners, they have other businesses and other ventures and stuff that they kind of need to move their money around, I would say. Look, I know it's just, you were just kind of looking at it from a Manchester United point of view, but like, as an owner's point of view, he's probably got money that's sitting in an account that he would probably invest it somewhere else as well. So is that an issue, or is that a possibility that maybe it looks like he's just taking all the money out of the club, but when it comes to it, I know he hasn't invested on the stadium or anything like that, but the money is still kind of Manchester United's money because the owners have it. But although they're taking it out of that account, maybe there's something more behind it.
Back in, though. The only money that's being put back in is the capital that the club makes itself.
Yeah. But maybe he's earning money elsewhere as well.
And they're not servicing the debt. So the dividends they're that 24 million, say, a couple of weeks ago, why didn't he pay off some of the debt that they have? The same debt that they had when they bought the club is still there, and they're still servicing that debt while taking money out of the club. Look, take my Manchester United head off, putting on a business head, and Scrooge McDuck head. Yeah, like, they're making money and they're bleeding the club dry. Vultures to a certain extent. They keep talking about they want to, make things better and the likes, but I think they may be just holding on for the next Super League or the next big TV deal where they can make another big chunk. Because we know, like, football eventually has to go into the pay-as-you-go model, like Netflix or like Prime TV, where Manchester United have a big enough fan base there to have the biggest subscription service in the world for football. Because
if I was to say to you, sorry, Paddy, if I was to say to you right now, think about this one, right? If I was to say to you, the next 5 years, Manchester United will win the league. They'll challenge every year for the Champions League, obviously after this year. And they'll probably win a few cups along the way. But you still have the same owners, right? If I was to say that to you, and then I said, or you can get rid of the owners tomorrow, and you don't know what your future holds, what would you take?
I'd get rid of the owners and not know what our future holds.
I think that's mental. How could, you'd have no idea what type of owners you're going to get in. I know you're going to say, oh, well, we're going to get someone that obviously cares about the club, but there's no guarantee of that. There's absolutely no guarantee. I'm guaranteed you're
right. You're right, but we've seen bad owners in clubs before, and we've seen, new owners coming in and really revolutionising the club, turned the club around. See with Liverpool, like, and at the end of the day, we feel if we don't get rid of the Glazers, we're going to be the Liverpool of the noughties and the 2000s. You know what I mean? Rather than like Liverpool for 30 years, one Premier League title in 30 years for a club as big as Liverpool FC. And
with an asterisk, don't forget the asterisk.
I know, yeah, exactly, yeah. But can we talk about the match now?
Yeah, sorry. I want to just jump on another one that I do want to talk about first is Peter actually sent it in there about Ronaldo. What's your thoughts? Like, now I'm going to bring this more towards the match itself. So obviously them dropping Maguire and dropping Ronaldo. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think that was a massive statement from Ten Hag to do that?
And Shaw, dropping Shaw as well, putting in his 3 new signings. What are you doing there?
Sorry, I was doing it. I'm on TikTok there, and someone just wrote Leeds.
Putting his 3 new signings on. Big statement. He said Maguire was going to be his captain 2 weeks ago. To drop him already, massive. But the way that the 2 of them played last night, Maguire can't be playing the next game. I don't care.
Yeah.
If he does, it would be lunacy. If we played Maguire the next game and we lost, and he made a howler,
bro.
Sure, Ten Hag would be getting sacked. He needs to do it his way now. He needs to change the captaincy. I've heard there's rumors that Chelsea might be looking for Maguire.
Fuck off! If Chelsea sign Maguire, I'm officially I'm handing over anything I own that belongs to Chelsea. I'm not putting up with that. There's no way. If we sign him, I'm done with football completely. I don't care. No, I won't support anything else. I'm done.
But I suppose with the Ronaldo question, with Peter's comment that he sent in, big move, big statement, and you're seeing the players. They played with a freedom last night against Liverpool that they haven't been playing with Ronaldo in the team all last season. Like, if you look at the last goals, like I think he scored 9 goals in the last 10 games, and the closest to that was one goal each for the likes of Fernandes, Rashford, and stuff like that. It was crazy, like, for the output of what the other forward players are doing when he's in the team is just nothing. I want to see. I wouldn't mind seeing him leaving, as much as I love him, and he's an amazing player, best player in the world ever. But I think he's too much of a disturbance now at the club.
After Messi, of course.
Yeah, well, whatever. Yeah, that's a different day's conversation. We only have an hour. I think Ronaldo needs to go, because whatever, if he comes out next week and does this interview and says, "I always wanted to stay at United," blah 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 blah, he has not done the manager any favors by staying quiet through this whole transfer window. Not one. If anything, he's just made his life a lot harder, because every press conference is just taken up by Cristiano Ronaldo, and I'd be happy to see it.
Well, apparently, isn't he going to come out in the next week or two and reveal the truth or something? Like, it's some sort of fucking Netflix series that we're waiting on the next episode or something like that. Like, do you know what I mean? He's going to reveal the truth in the next week or two, which is absolutely mental. Talking about Fernandes looked like a different animal there last night. One that we haven't seen in probably well over a year, I think. Was that down to him obviously being captain and Ronaldo not being in the starting team? Do you reckon that's kind of giving him a bit more?
I think it's a combination of that, and then also whatever the new manager is drilling into them, because Fernandes got a couple of chances last season to be captain when Maguire was out for one reason or another, even when Ragnick was there, and he never performed like that. The whole team last night, they looked like a team. They played for each other. And I think an element of it as well, I remember when United used to play and they'd be having a poor game when Carlos Tevez was in the team, and he was an animal. He was a beast. He chased for every ball. And when you've got a player like that in the team, it makes every other player do it as well, because they're thinking to themselves, he's making me look bad here. And we had Martinez, who was like a bulldog last night. We had Malaysia, who was, again, what a signing. He was brilliant last night. Varane had his best game for United that he's had since he signed for the club. Is that because now he actually has a proper centre-back partner and he doesn't have to play with Maguire? I think so. And even Delo had a good game. So the back four, very solid. De Gea, you could see last night the hesitation, not only from him not wanting the ball to his feet, but also the defenders. There was a couple of times Martinez had the ball and he had an option of either hitting it back to the keeper, and he ended up just hoofing it out. When in doubt, hoof it out, because I don't think
just while we're on the subject of keepers with the ball at the feet, did you see fucking Mendy?
Oh,
What an
jeez.
absolute fucking donkey that fella is.
Yeah.
What a clown, like Jesus Christ, what is he doing? Just fucking launch the ball, like get rid of it.
I know.
Sorry, I just wanted to jump in on that one.
No,
because
you're right. You're right.
let that one
But
go.
you could see, and I like this as well. Ten Hag, I was thinking, he's very strict with this is my philosophy, this is the way I want to play. But you could see De Gea got the ball last night and he was just hitting it long every time. There was no one else hitting the ball short. But what they did do was they made sure Rashford moved over to Robertson. So he'd ping it over there. Rashford would be there. He'd be taller than Robinson. So more than likely he's going to win the header, get the second ball, and then attack from there. So yeah, it was good tactics all around. Great night. But again, one Ten Hag at the wheel, absolutely. But we have to a long way to go. One result, but yeah, if they win this weekend, we have Arsenal in a couple of weeks, get another couple of good results. That's when I'll start getting excited. But
well, that's what I was going to say. The next thing is, right, you can do it against Liverpool, and I put a thing up on Instagram, I think it was, and I was saying that game requires no motivation because it's a self-motivation game. That's just one that you're automatically up for. The fans nearly hype that up themselves, so there's nothing needed by the manager, really. The manager doesn't really need to say much there, I don't think, and the players don't really need much to be said to get motivated. But your next game is away to Southampton at 12:30 on a Saturday. Is that going to be more difficult to get up for than that game there? Like, I think you're going to have a tougher time away at Southampton because it was a great performance, but you need to bring that aggression and that desire to win into the game against the smaller clubs, and this is a great test for United, I think.
Yeah, I had a long think about that today, actually, and what the difference will be between Southampton this weekend and Brentford and Brighton the couple of weeks before was after last season, the whole squad lacked so much confidence. You could see any time the ball went forward and they had like Sancho, Rashford, they just didn't know what to do with the ball. When I seen the two of them scoring last night, the confidence that is going to give them is going to be unbelievable. And if they get to go again this weekend, Ronaldo out of team, played, Martial, Rashford, Sancho, Fernandez up in that top four up front, I think they can do some serious damage. And a couple of games, build that confidence game by game. I've got a good feeling in terms of, I said the quadruple at the start of the season. I'm not going to get carried away. The treble, I'll go for the treble.
No, you went quadruple, then you went down to the treble, then I think you went to the double, and we're going to have to creep back up to the treble now, are we?
Yeah.
All right, okay, right. So at least we're going in the right direction anyway. Right, Paddy, look, we'll leave it there for now because we will still be talking about the teams in a few minutes. What we're going to jump on to next is we're going to have a quick look at the fantasy football. To be honest with you, Paddy, an all-around fucking shit week for me, right? I had a below par performance in the fantasy football again this week. Do you want me to share my team first?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Right. So here we go. As you can see, I'll zoom in there so anybody's watching. So if you're listening on Spotify, it makes more sense if you're watching on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you follow us if you're listening on Spotify. Give us a 5-star rating because we're fucking legends. And yeah, nice one. Right, so in goal, Ramsdale, 6 points for him. Happy with that. Justin for Leicester, 1 point. Poor. I think I'll probably be taking him out soon enough because he's not really getting many points. Trent, 0 points. Very disappointing again. Had a nightmare last night. I think last night really showed that he can't lace fucking Reece James boots, and that's a fucking fact. And I will fight any man that says that to me. I will fight you. And I'll fight you right now. I don't mind. I'll fucking fight you if you say that Trent is better than Reece James. Kyle Walker, again, it was just a freak result from City. I'm not going to jump the gun and make any rash decisions with him. Matty Cash, 1 point, shy. De Silva, again, it was that thing, Paddy, where Brentford spanked United and we all said, fuck it, get the Brentford players in. They're great, they're brilliant. 1 point for De Silva. Now, in fairness, he is probably one of their better players and he's only 4.6 million, so it's not a bad one there to have as kind of Dort as well. Martinelli getting me 6 points as well. Happy with that. De Bruyne getting me 5. I think he had an assist. Salah getting me 8 with the goal. Jesus getting me 4. A little bit of a blank for him, I suppose. And then Haaland getting me 12, have him as captain. So overall, I got 45 points. 48 was the average. So not miles off, but just not what I wanted. Looking at next week's fixtures, Paddy, my team looks in really good shape, and I actually don't know if I'm going to bother making a substitution. I think I've got 8 or 9 of the players at home, and they're all considerably favourite fixtures. So I think I may stick with them. So exactly. We will have a look at Connor's team, but we'll let you have a look at yours, Paddy, first, and then we'll have a look at the league as well. So I'll just get Connor's team ready myself.
Okay, so a respectable 64 this week. City let me down in terms of Ederson and goal. 3 goals conceded. Cancelo, yellow card, so he ended up with 0 points. He would have got the 1. Gabriel, 7 for Arsenal. Another good result for them. Reece James, not too good because Chelsea are shit. Yeah. Perisic, great 12 points. He seems to be a really good signing, and I think he'll get an awful lot of points for a defender. Rodrigo, you beauty for Leeds. I had him in the team. Well done. Martinelli with an assist.
You get a goal?
What?
Did Martinelli get a goal?
No, no an assist, I think.
Oh, it was assist, was it? I thought you got a goal.
Yeah, I think so.
Sorry.
Luis Diaz, again, not a great game against United. Rashford got his goal, and Martial got his goal. But he only came on a half time, so that's why he's only got such a low score. And Jesus then again got the assist for one of the goals. Grealish, I'm after taking out a team for this week. I got rid of him and I transferred, and I got in Saint-Maximin for Newcastle.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think last season I had him in my team, and I think he was just the diamond for Newcastle in a bad team. But now I think he has a bit of backup there. He can really start to shine and get a few points on the board. So let's hope so.
I like what you did there. He's a diamond and he starts shining. Jesus, very, very poetic, Paddy.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Yeah,
I'd like to thank Rihanna for that one.
Big shout out to Rihanna. I know she's a big fan.
Just before we switch over to Connor's team, I just want to show the league there.
I have it up. I have it up here. I was going to show it. You know, I wouldn't do that, Paddy. You know, like
you're very competitive. You know,
I am very competitive, and I don't like being in last position, but I won't shy away from it. You know, that's what I'm here for. You know, I'm here to take the abuse as well as give it. You know, and I'm going to own up to it this season. I'm going to take all the abuse that gets thrown at me. I'm not going to hide away from anything.
In your face, your shit.
Fuck you prick. Get your shy team off the fucking table there, and I'll show Connor's team. Connor had a good week as well this week.
Yes.
Bastard. 67 points, the fucker. So 67 points. He had Lloris in goal, who got him a tasty 9. He had Perisic as well, who had 12. Trent obviously with 0. Botman for Newcastle got 1. He had Ben White, who got him 7. He had Salah as captain, so got lucky with the goal. The fucker. De Bruyne, Saka. De Bruyne got him 5. Saka got him 3. Jensen off Brentford got him 4. Jesus, and then Mitrovic he had, who got him 6 as well. Decent. I don't know what he's going to do, but I hope whatever he does, he fails miserably next week. And that's all I've got to say about that.
He's on his holiday, so hopefully he forgets to update his team.
No, to be honest with you, I don't think he's going to. I think he's taking it serious this year, which makes me sick.
See his jersey and all up there. Have a look at his jersey.
Let's have a look at his jersey. Oh, controversial yellow.
State that.
Controversial. We can slate him now.
Bumblebee.
Aren't we?
Like a bumblebee. There's a sting in this team.
He's a wasp. Oh, Jesus Christ, Paddy. We're going to look at the actual overall league and see who is top. Dermot Farrell, Frankie de Wong.
I like that.
Slightly racist, but I kind of like it. David's injury list. Jesus Christ. David's injury list. Yeah, that must be why he's fucking called it that. It's impossible to say it. So 215 points Dermot's on and 214. So he's only 1 ahead. Then we're down to Trev. I would imagine that's Trev that we know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know what that name is, so I don't even know.
Anyone for a BJ?
Fuck off.
It's deadly, isn't it?
I can't believe.
I don't know what that is.
I cannot believe I haven't spotted that. That's an outrageous name, and I love it. I will be confirming.
You should get a prize just for that.
I need to confirm whether that is the Trev we know or not with that name, because that is an outrageous name. That's probably one of my favorite names I've ever seen. He slipped it by the cracks as well with a little dot in the middle. He's kind of broke it up. I like to see it. Then we fought Craig Mooney, 200. Sorry, Trev has 210. Craig Mooney, 206. Colly Lamb, 50 Shades of O'Shea, 205. A couple there. No one that I really know. I've got the fucking highest of the week. I wish I could sort it. Can I? No, I can't. Look, fuck the lot. You're all ahead of me. I don't really care about you. But well done. Now, stay involved. Yeah, now it's great crack. Paddy, we're going to move off to fancy football because, again, that was just another depressing moment for me again, falling to last place between ourselves. We're going to just have a little bit of a chat about some news that happened this week. So I'm going to take us into the news of the week. Right, Paddy, we've kind of covered a little bit of what we're going to talk about already, but I think it's probably worth mentioning. So, obviously, as you can see on the screen, we have a picture of Aubameyang, who is heavily linked with Chelsea. Apparently...
He apple through an outer box, couldn't he?
Oh, my God, he's the ugliest fucker I've ever seen in my life. Like, this... A serious set of tea on the guy. Fair play to him.
Like, expecting Sigourney Weaver to come up from behind him and slit his throat or something, thinking he's an alien.
I have to admit that they're a serious set of delf. Like, they're kind of like dentures. That's what they look like, like they actually look like he's got dentures and he's like
trying fall to spit
them out. Yeah, they're falling out. Like, so fine set of teeth on Aubameyang, and I'd love to see them teeth smiling at Chelsea, to be honest with you. Like I said earlier, a number 9 is what we need. He's got Premier League experience. I think he has something like 60-something goals in 120 games or something. So nearly a goal every 2 games. I don't mind that. He'll have a definite 9 role where he was kind of drifting out to the left a lot with Arsenal at the end of his time. I'd like to see him just solely straight through the middle. And like I said, because Tuchel has worked with him before, I'd like to see that. Paddy, how do you think this would go if he was to come back to Chelsea?
He's proven in the Premier League. He started playing bad again when Arsenal were going through bad times, and I'm seeing firsthand now at Manchester United, when the team is going through bad times, the best players in the world can play just poorly. So I've no doubt he's got a couple of goals for Barcelona since he's went in there, and things aren't amazing there either. So yeah, I think it'd be a good sign, and depending on what's the price they're talking about to get him.
I think it's, as far as I know, it's only 20 million or 25 million or something.
Yeah, for a 34-year-old in today's market, that's okay. Like, if you can get a season or 2 out of him, and he can get you 15, 20 goals a season, yeah, he's worth the money. Absolutely.
He's not really a panic boy, but he's more of a...
There's no one else available.
A necessity. Yeah, he's more of a kind of... He's just getting what's available. Yeah. Now, I know we kind of talk about Aubameyang with his kind of troubles at Arsenal. Now, I don't know if you've watched it, Paddy, but the Arsenal All or Nothing. I don't know if did you watch that on Amazon?
No.
It's very good. And to be honest with you, fair play to Mikel Arteta, but was a little bit harsh. I think he flew off to France, which I think he was given permission to do, but he came back late and Arteta wasn't having a bar of it and said, right, that's it, he's suspended. And they kind of left him in the dark for a while and fucking didn't let him train, made him train on his own for weeks, and then eventually just turned sour and they were like, right, we're basically getting rid of you. They wanted to fully sell him because they didn't want him on the books anymore and like that. So a harsh kind of reason to get fucked out of Arsenal, to be honest with you. But
you'd wonder, is that a ploy to get him out of club as well? Like, Arteta is a disciple of Guardiola, and we all know about the troubles he had with Ibrahimovic and how he kind of froze him out of Barcelona to get rid of him. So slight similarities between the two circumstances.
Yeah, and not surprising considering they've both worked together for a good spell. Like, Paddy, the next one is kind of more relevant to yourself. So obviously, your new signing, Casemiro. What are your thoughts on this fella coming in, and how do you think he'll fit into the system?
It all depends on what type of a 30-year-old he is. If he's a fit 30-year, like nowadays, like, you used to hit your prime at 26, 27, but obviously because of the way medical science has gotten now, you have a bit more longevity. He seems to have looked after himself. He's not really injury prone. I think he's the type of player we've needed since Roy Keane, Michael Carrick left. Someone to break up the play and play it to the people that can, set up the chances. I think he could be a great signing, but also he, it may not go right. It all depends on how the next couple of weeks go, the next couple of months, confidence, how he kicks off, how he starts. But looking at the last night, you could see him fitting into where McTominay was.
And do you think a straight swap for McTominay?
In last night's team, yeah, I think so. Playing alongside
Eriksen,
yeah. I think that would have been a good role for him. Yeah.
It is an interesting one because the Eriksen kind of situation. He I suppose if you're going to play Casemiro with Eriksen's probably going to drop a little bit deeper as well.
Well, United have played a 4-2-3-1 for years now, and I actually see that with him here. If we get Varane, Martinez, Casemiro as the rock of United, being able to really defend well, that might give a bit more freedom to the likes of Eriksen and Fernandes to play together with the top four or the top three, to really do some damage. But sure, it's wait and see. Good, decent signing, a lot of money for a 30-year-old, but I think this is just where United are at the moment. No Champions League football. This is what you're going to have to pay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people can demand it, and they will pay it as well.
I think sorry. Just one last thing. I think Neville said it as well about it's just in 2 or 3 years' time when he, he's lost his pace.
It's a 5-year deal.
It's a 4 with an option of a further one. So that's what I'm thinking. So in 2 or 3 years' time, if he loses a yard of pace and we get another player in, are we going to be stuck with another prima donna there on astronomical wages that we just can't get rid of and we're paying? You wouldn't mind that if he became sort of a leader at the club. And he wasn't a distraction, but you just like to hope that things go well, and he's more of a good influence on the younger players than a distraction.
Yeah, fair enough. Paddy, we're going to move on to something else which isn't football related, and I know we're called Beyond the Ball here, but we're going completely away from football, and I want to talk about this gobshite here, because he was fighting the weekend, and for anyone that's not watching on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, and you're listening at a later date on Spotify, we're talking about Anthony Joshua. So, Paddy, they had a fight on Saturday night, I think it was. Him and Usyk. Usyk, one of the best characters in boxing, in my opinion. Very good boxer as well. Now, look, don't get me wrong, the fight was actually a half decent fight. Usyk kind of just outboxed him. But the only part I wanted, Usyk ended up winning. Obviously, the 3 judges scored it completely different. One judge gave it in favour of Anthony Joshua, which was absolutely mind-boggling because there's absolutely zero chance he won the fight. But what happened after the fight was just the most outrageous thing I think I've ever seen after a boxing match. So they announced the winner, and then all of a sudden the camera kind of goes to Joshua. In fairness to him, you can see him there in the picture. He has the Ukrainian flag. He was kind of really supporting Ukraine, and Usyk's obviously from Ukraine. He was fighting in the war only a couple of months ago, maybe 2 or 3 months ago, not even. So he was holding the flag, made himself look great. And then the camera cuts to him, and he's got 2 of Usyk's belts. He fucks them out of the ring, and basically says fuck off, and take your fucking belts. Then storms out of the ring and starts heading backstage. Now, I can only imagine that his coach or somebody grabbed him by the bollocks and said, get the fuck back up to that ring and save face because you're after making an absolute show of yourself. So he marches all the way back up into the ring. And as you can see from this picture here, which actually, when you look at it, it doesn't even look like it's his hand. It looks like a weird hand. But it's him holding the microphone, and it's him spewing absolute bollocks about how he's been through everything as a kid. And that he's like, I'm not a fucking amateur boxer and all. He works hard, all this shit. And basically saying that he's the hardest working boxer in the world and he's great, all this shit, blowing his own trumpet. Little does he know he's talking to a man that was literally fighting in a war about 2 months ago. And he's saying he's been through it all because he came up in a rough area, which is absolute bollocks. But I just thought the whole thing was just embarrassing for him. And I think he's finished as far as I'm concerned. I remember we watched, didn't we watch the Fury fight against, who was he fighting?
Chisora.
Chisora, yeah. We were watching that live on this. and we were. I think we kind of had talked about Anthony Joshua. Looking at it, Fury would batter the two of them.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to look at it from a slightly different standpoint, because he did make a fool of himself, absolutely.
Yeah.
But he's human, and I think you kind of could see that, there's so much pressure coming up to this fight, and I think he just broke mentally a little bit afterwards.
Yeah.
Not condoning what he done in any way, shape, or form, but at one stage or another in our lives, we're all going to have these episodes. Unfortunately, he was just on camera in front of millions and millions and millions of people.
Yeah.
Tony Bellew was on TalkSport earlier on, and he was, singing his praises in terms of, you've got to feel sorry for these type of people. He's competitive. It's not like a team. You don't lose together. Like he's in the spotlight there. He just lost. He really, really felt going into the fight he was gonna win it. Again, doesn't condone his actions. The way he took the flag off Usyk, he grabbed it off him, tried to bully doing the fist bumps with the team. I was watching it in detail today, aggressively, very aggressively. Took the belts off and threw them out of the ring, and then he tried to redeem himself afterwards with his speech in the ring, and then obviously you've got the press conference the next day where he actually got upset, which fair play to some people. Someone on TalkSport today came out and said, there were crocodile tears nearly. It was only for the cameras. Eddie Hearn sitting beside him, but I don't think it was. I think obviously he regretted what he had done, because you might say he's a scumbag, or whatever. Like he said, he was in prison, all blah blah blah. But up until this point, he's actually come across very well in terms of he held himself very well
for the community as well, like and in
and
terms of being a role model, like.
Yeah, exactly. Now he just hasn't got. He's just not as good as he thinks he is, or he's being led to believe that he is. And I think you're seeing that last night, or on Saturday night, for the second time against him, Ruiz Jr. He lost against, and again, I think that's why he's being kept away from Tyson Fury, because I think Tyson Fury would have just battered him, and I think strategically Eddie Hearn kept him away from him.
Yeah, definitely. So look, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit, and I think it's good to kind of touch on these kind of, I suppose, highlights of the week.
It's big news.
Whether it's not boxing, I think we'll do, or whether it's not football, but I think we'll try to do more of that as well. So if there's anything that's kind of happening in any other sports, that's worth talking about, we'll have a chat about them, because like I said, we're called Beyond the Ball now, and we want to go beyond football. And that's what we're doing, especially with the content. So that leads us into the next thing. What a little segue. So we go beyond football, and that leads us into the next thing, Paddy, which is that is right. So for anybody that is not watching us on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, get your arses over there now. Pause your Spotify episode. Pull over on the side of the M50. If you're driving to work and you're on the M50, pull over. Just abruptly go across 3 lanes. Pull into the hard shoulder and put on YouTube and watch this, because I don't know.
For anyone that doesn't live in Ireland, the M50 is a motorway, so just
motorway. For all of our Malaysian Asians, we're still number 80th in Malaysia, so we're still holding strong in the charts over there. So yeah, fair play to our Malaysian friends over there. Paddy, we have a closest to the pin challenge again. I'm just going to play the video, and we'll let it play out, and we'll see what happens.
Let's go.
This is the closest to the pin challenge number 4, the only GCC 153 yards to the flag. Holds the finish again. He likes it. It's a little bit right. It's unlucky though. Just for talk to me.
I think it's a little bit left, but it's better.
A little bit left, but better. Let's see. It's definitely left, but it's not necessarily better. Another green mist here, Connor. Still a bit left, is it?
It's great to work over there.
Oh. Your balls are touching.
They changed the fucking style in Ireland. I still think we were
disappointed. I'm up.
Nah, left. It's not a good shot.
You're not looking what's on the telly now.
That's a miss for you. Hell.
Yeah.
This is good.
Terrible, don't need to play something.
Yeah,
Of course.
check this out. Oh, the trees.
Didn't even get to the wall.
Oh, Jesus.
It's not only this. This is it. This is shit going off the box line.
So made for pressure.
No, it didn't register either.
You're breaking it, Billy.
That was perfect.
Oh look, yeah, you got a register here. That was perfect. Let's test that out. Yeah, perfect. Perfectly wet.
He only said that because he didn't think. Oh, no.
It's all ground. Oh, I'd love to see it registering as well. Look at this. This is beautiful. Oh, do you remember? Oh, Paddy.
Best for last.
Oh,
Did he do it?
you have a registration, but
Still fading.
I don't think it's gonna make it. It's unlucky.
Didn't like. Did they go around again then, did he?
Sudden death. Sudden death. We all missed. One shot each.
One shot, everyone knows the rules.
One shot, everyone knows the rules. Oh, I'll tell you what. It's held it and it's registered.
Look twirl. Sit
Oh,
first.
we have a
On the
registration.
dance floor.
Okay.
Watch it register. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Absolute shambles.
Oh, splashy, splashy. Aquaman there.
Paddy has one shot. Connor is leading. I got shafted. Don't you love to see that stuff?
Didn't register.
You love to see that.
Didn't register. Didn't register.
Oh,
That's just for the
disgusting.
content.
Yeah,
That's just for the
yeah.
content,
That's
baby.
disgusting.
I tell you what, he's cleaned it. I tell you what, he's cleaned it.
Oh, we have a register as well?
He's plucked it. He's absolutely
Oh.
plucked it.
Oh, that's unlucky.
Psych.
Connor wins. Fair play to Connor. But I do want to say, right, and I left a couple of them in there. I get shafted on that fucking machine. Top Tracer, fix your machines. It's a disgrace.
I would say it's more because of your
shots
shots.
I hit. Bullshit. So many good shots I hit.
Really, it's
And
not
I
your
wouldn't-
week at all this week, Colly, isn't it?
It's fucking not. I'm just not having a good week, right? If I'm not here next week, you know why, right? I've just gone somewhere else.
Gone somewhere.
Gone to another land. Paddy, it's 2-1-1 to Connor at the moment. I think next week we have one more. I think this is maybe our final golf challenge. Our longest drive, I believe, next week.
Yes, I think that's what we planned, alright.
I think we have a longest drive planned next week. And I think, Paddy, I suppose we there's no point in hiding what we're planning on doing. I think we have myself, yourself, and Connor have earmarked out the 3rd of September to get
That's
together
right.
and do some content creating while also getting absolutely shit-faced drunk.
Yes.
So that should be very interesting, and hopefully we can get a few challenges done that day and see where it takes us. But yeah,
Don't talk to me about United's owners.
yeah.
There'll be more there.
But I think what the plan will be as well is if we can get some content done up on the 3rd of September, get some challenges done, and then maybe go live on Instagram and stuff like that, and have a bit of crack with any of the followers or listeners or anything like that. And we go live on TikTok maybe as well and see who we can interact with.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
That's the plan.
Are we going to continue on? Will we tell people about the live reactions?
Yeah, do you want to inform them?
Yeah.
what the
We
plan
had
is.
this idea yesterday that we see some of the best content out there really is coming from fans directly after a result. So we'd like to start doing a couple of Instagram lives, irrespective of the result, win, lose, or draw. So United next weekend playing Southampton. If we get hammered 4-0, you're going to get my honest reaction straight after the game. It's only going to be a couple of minutes, but again, I'm thinking we'll get some good content as the season goes on.
Yeah, definitely. It is like you're saying there. It is where you're going to get your most raw content, and you're. It's very easy to ponder over a result and then kind of like what Connor does. He very kind of strategically thinks about how he's going to word things.
Yeah.
I want to catch him when he's while he's hot.
Yeah.
I want to get some emotion out of Connor because he doesn't have emotion, and I want to see some emotion from him.
Yeah.
So that's what the plan of that is. Paddy, we're going to move on to the last thing of this week, and it is talking about the predictions for the weekend. Right, as we always do now, we're going to be looking at Chelsea's fixture, United's fixture, and Liverpool fixture. So, Paddy, we're going to start off with Chelsea versus Leicester. Look, we're not going to spend too long. We're coming up to the hour mark there. Hopefully, we can get this wrapped up within the next kind of 5 minutes. Chelsea, I'm expecting a big bounce back. Don't know whether I'm going to be getting it. Brendan Rodgers is slightly under pressure this season. Hasn't been really getting to results and performances that he wants. I'm going to say Chelsea are going to bounce back here and they're going to win 2-1. I don't think they're going to be bashing teams anytime soon until we try sort out a number 9. But I'm going to say 2-1, and I'm going to say Pulisic to score because he's been coming on. Hasn't really been great, but I think he might actually start the next game for some reason. What do you think?
To be honest, I was thinking the exact same scoreline. I was thinking 2-1 and Sterling to score. I can't see us losing this one. Leicester, as you said, Brendan Rodgers under a bit of pressure, but I think again the owners of the club must be saying, well, we're not really investing in the team, so what do we expect? So
I think they're the only team that haven't signed anyone already this season. Which is poor.
Bad.
Right, we're going to move on. We're going to go to Southampton versus Manchester United. I don't know why we done Chelsea and Leicester first, because Southampton and United are the first game of the week. Anyway, Southampton and United, Paddy. Like we said, this is where the big test actually starts now, because your Liverpool match is a self-motivator. This game, you're going to need to be up for it. There's going to be a massive kind of, I suppose not a low, but there's going to be a massive realization, right, that every single game isn't in Manchester United versus Liverpool. There's not going to be as much hype. Not going to be much hype from the Southampton fans on this game. So where do you see this one going for United?
Again, as you said, you've hit the nail on the head there, saying that it won't be how would you say the same motivation for this match, and I don't think it'll be like a walkover either. Like as I said earlier on, the gap has gotten smaller. The smaller teams are better than they have been. They've some quality in the squad. If they sit back behind the ball, do we have the quality to break their lines and score? I would like to think with a bit of confidence we've got from the Liverpool result that we will. So I'm going to go for United win, like I have for every game this season. But I'm going to go for a marginal win, and I'm going to go for 2-0. So because I do think they'll be looking to get the clean sheet. I think we're unlucky not to get it last night. I think if we plays the same back four, there's every possibility we could. And then if we win that, then I'll be heading off to Liam Gallagher that night, a happy man.
I hope you're a very, very sad man going to Liam Gallagher. Hermie's the lucky. Arsenal top of the league. It's like an elephant in a tree. We're all wondering how we're there. I'll tell you why yous are there, because yous are playing fucking superb football, and Gabriel Jesus may be that little missing piece of the puzzle that you're looking for. So yeah, that could be why you're there.
A friend of mine, Graham, actually he's an Arsenal supporter, and I was talking to him last Friday, and he said that we've had a handy start to the season.
Oh, it is Graham. That's Graham. He just came in there. That's Graham.
Graham, yeah. Okay, so yeah, he said they've had a lucky start to the season, but what I say to that is, so on paper, a lot of say Liverpool, but they come up against United, but they drop points. You can only be who's in front of you, and I think what Arsenal are doing now is they're building confidence, which is going to be massive for them for the rest of the season.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Paddy, big Gavin Bazunu on goal for Southampton. It's actually going to be nice to see him. He's playing. I mean, he's getting a couple of wins with Southampton. I think they won 2-1 the last game. Could be wrong on that one. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice to see him actually starting in the Premier League, which is definitely where I think he deserves to be. Because for me, he was a far better goalkeeper than Kelleher.
Yeah.
Now that's just my opinion. People might disagree with me, Liverpool fans, but these are all wrong. Gavin Bazunu was better.
Don't worry, they're still hiding under the rock.
I haven't heard much from them, to be fair. Paddy, I think this one is going to be a sad dose of reality for Manchester United. And I'm gonna just say 1-1. I don't think they're gonna beat you. I think you may score early and you may kind of get a bit complacent, and Southampton may get a goal in the 74th minute and 43 seconds. But that's not being precise at all. But I think, 1-1, and I'm gonna say Rashford's gonna score for you again. I think and that's where I think the complacency will be coming in. But when he scores, doesn't work hard, and then might end up fucking us over. So that's my prediction. We're moving on to the last one, Paddy. Liverpool and Bournemouth. Do you expect a big bounce back from Liverpool this week?
Not a big one, but I expect them to win. I'm gonna go for it. Yeah. I think they might concede again because they look very porous at the back. I'm going to go 2-1 to Liverpool and Diaz to score.
Yeah. I am actually going to say that there's going to be a decent enough bounce back. But like you're saying, I think Trent showed the poorness of his... Graham came in there 3-1 to United. I think Trent literally just showed how overrated he was as a defender yesterday. And... Virgil van Dijk for that first goal. I know Sancho sent Milner to the shop, but Van Dijk, if you look at it again, he didn't really come out and press the ball, which is what he should have done. He kind of... What?
Yeah. No, it was just so... I seen a meme today and they had him dressed up as Liam Gallagher, with his hands behind his back like that, singing Wonderwall. It's so good.
That's deadly. So look, Virgil van Dijk, I can't believe he's even in the same conversation as being as good as John Terry, because it's just not even a thing. But I'm going to say they're gonna win. They're gonna win 3-0, and I'm gonna go with Diaz to score because I don't have my fancy. So if he scores, I'm right on the pod, and if he doesn't score, hopefully it's Salah or something, and I have Salah every time. So come on. Graham reckons 2-0 to Liverpool. Yeah, wouldn't be far off of that one. Paddy, that's pretty much us wrapped up there now. That's the full hour. I think we've timed that nicely. Next week, I don't think Connor's back next week. I think it's just ourselves again. We will be going live on, like I said, on Instagram on Saturday. We'll do it twice. I think we'll have to do it to get the reactions after the United game and then after the Chelsea game. We'll see how Connor is fixed if he's able to jump on. I think he's away on holiday, so we'll have a look. We'll see what the crack is. But yeah, that's pretty much us. Go on, did you want to say something?
No, great week. Finally a happy week on the pod. It's good to be back.
Yeah, for you. Yeah, fuck you. For everybody that is watching, if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, make sure you follow us. Make sure you subscribe to us, like, comment. We'll reply to everything. Make sure you're following us on Instagram as well. That's where all of our stuff goes up. And then on TikTok as well. We are above 1,000 followers, so we can go live on TikTok. We were live on TikTok tonight. I wasn't really talking to anybody. One fella came in, gave me a bit of abuse, so I stuck my fingers up. That's what Paddy was getting confused about. But I will be doing a lot more kind of things on TikTok where I'll be interacting with people that actually come into the live. So yeah, we will be doing all that. Next week we will have a challenge, a King of the Pod challenge again. We'll be talking all things Premier League again. So Paddy, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for indulging me with your brilliant knowledge of Manchester United.
No, and Colly, thank you for being depressed over Leeds smashing you. It was great, smashing in your back door, and then your bottom in the fancy football as well. What a week!
Yeah.
What a week!
Not the face of music. So yeah. Right, we will be back next week at 8 p.m. live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So make sure you find us there, and we will talk to everybody next week.